What are your thoughts on the education?
When it comes to education, I just want them to at least do what they were trying to do with Biden's run, which at least honor the student loans. I know they've been having pushback with the Supreme Court, but I think the student loan issue especially would be helpful because, to what you guys were saying, a lot of people cannot qualify a lot for housing because of the amount of debt of student loans. I know people who have like 100,000 student loan, 120,000 student loans, right? So when it comes to that debt to income ratio that is often used to see how much house you can qualify for, people are being priced out of looking at housing, especially in states like Florida, like where I live, are being pushed out because they cannot afford or qualify. Even if they can afford the payment, they cannot qualify for that home. When it comes to education in general, I do think that um, more investment needs to be made when it comes to public education. We can't just privatize the whole education system, right? It's not going to be helpful for people who need general education as well. And I do think that we need to look at, as far as college and trade school and technical skills, some more investments from the government in that area. I believe if we have money to fund wars, we most certainly have money on a federal level to invest in the education of America. I know there's an agenda to not educate the American population because an educated population makes different types of decisions, right? And can think for themselves and push back. But I think it's very important that we make these investments.
I agree. Because let's face it, education, let's look at this slide. Educational attainment. The National Center for Education Statistics reports that in 2021, 25% of Black adults aged 25 to 29 had a bachelor's degree or higher, and 45% of white adults in the same age group. Once again, guys, that's a pretty big disparaging number there. But Harris focuses on affordable tuition, and that could impact some of these statistics. This dates back so long, guys, about education. When it already started back in Reagan's era and even beyond, when he decided to privatize schools and all the things that were going on with that. But we continue to see that this is a struggle when people go to school, get their education, get a degree, in some cases master's degree, and then they get out and they can't even work the job that they went to school for. Vanessa, what are your thoughts on this? You do a lot of thought into economics and things of that matter. So what are your thoughts on the educational aspect of what needs to be done for our community? And do you think Harris can deliver this?
Y'all about to be mad at me for this response, but I agree with privatizing education. And hear me out when I say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. How many times have we seen, are we going to watch our public school systems in our communities fail? I mean, I'm a product of a public school, and we we had like a program, we had a lot of funding, and that created kind of like a smaller classes. It gave us laptops in an era, but it was very different than the rest of the classes. And you saw our graduation rates were higher. But my belief is that we spend about, on average, $12,000 to $14,000 per pupil. I believe in a pod system. I believe that if you gave that money in the form of a voucher and you had 7 to 10 students, you hired a teacher for that. You had maximum 1 to 10 ratio, and our students were taught history, our history. Our students were taught financial literacy.